Hello and welcome to the Spiralinghigher podcast, hosted by me, Sam, mindset and manifestation coach.
And me, Gina, your biz and mindset coach. We're here to support you on your spiritual journey by bringing you intimate and raw conversations about healing, manifestation, consciousness, and spirituality.
We hope this podcast makes you feel less alone as you become aware of your patterns and limiting beliefs to uplevel your life, manifest like a boss, and together, spiral higher. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to the Spiralinghigher podcast. So today it is just me, Sam, and I just really felt like sitting down today because sometimes I get these messages that they just keep coming up, and it sounds like, or feels like anyways, that the message really wants to be expressed. And I actually expressed this message through writing at first. I sat down at a coffee shop, and it's kind of after one of my darker moments, as most of our most enlightening moments are. They always follow these dark spells. And I was just writing. And I don't know if you have an activity in your life. It could be writing, it could be painting, it could be music, it could be anything. But when you do it, it really feels as if a different part of you kind of takes over. Your conscious mind, the thoughts that you normally identify with just kind of fall away as you create and play and interact and engage with this activity. And that's how it really feels like for me with writing and oftentimes speaking. For so many of my videos, which some have gone viral on TikTok, I don't script them. Whenever I have a message that is pulsing through me, I just press record, and then however it comes out, it comes out. And I think that people resonate with that. The fact that it's not a really doctored and edited message. It's just me showing up with words on my heart and a message in my mind that I want to get out. And I benefit from sharing it because oftentimes it's the message that I need to learn. So don't go off thinking that I figured all this out. So many of the messages I receive that turn into so many of my video topics are really, in a weird way, for me. And so I have a message right now that's coming through that I just can't help but want to share. I've just kind of been called to sit down and I don't know, sort of like slam poetry my way through this. But if you're listening, listen closely. It's a really powerful message. And so the message is this. At some point in your journey, you will have the realization that living your best life, the most wildly authentic life you could ever dream about, will be an act of rebellion. It'll be a rebellion against expectations, traditional frameworks, the opinions of others, the old version of you, and all of the fears that you've really built up over time. We'd have to rebel against all of that to live in alignment with the truth of who we are. And this is the thing, when we start to live in the truth of who we are, well, get ready. That is just when you start attracting like crazy. I mean, I only started this podcast not even a month ago. And I started posting about manifestation in December of 2021. And since then, my reality has shifted. It has been quantum leaps. I've attracted soul aligned clients. I've built a 6-figure business out of the sky, landed 5-figure brand deals. And I'm telling you all of this on the podcast that, like I just said, I created a mere month ago. Time has nothing on alignment, because when you move in the direction of your dreams with nothing but faith, it will manifest because it already exists. The eventual physical ability to see it, taste it, smell it, and touch it is related to the final form that it takes, but that doesn't make it more real than the form it existed in when it was still living in your mind, in your heart. Every single manifestation will begin here in the 5D. Call it the astral plane or the field of infinite possibilities. But as soon as we imagine a different version of ourselves, a different version of our reality, we activate that possibility. Think about it long enough and you begin to create emotional and vibrational resonance with it and begin to attract it to you, pulling it into the present moment so that it can be experienced as 3D reality, which is what most of you are considering to be real. But your inability to believe in its first form, its idea, its the form it takes as a thought, right? Which comes to you in these fleeting ways. That's what keeps you in the way of it. You don't believe in it when it comes to you as a spark, as an idea, a thought, a question. And so every time you look around your physical environment, you scan for what's missing and then keep strengthening that reality instead of the one that you want. So that's really annoying, right? don't have any money and all you can think about is how little money you have. And then you come to me asking how to get more money. And then I say, stop worrying about money, worry about feeling good. And you think I'm crazy. You also think I'm crazy because I actually believe in the ability for me and everyone else on this planet to create a life that is beyond their wildest dreams. But is that crazy? Right? We don't believe in this because it seems so unrealistic or unreasonable. And we tell someone our idea and they end up repeating our fears back to us because they too can't imagine that ever happening for themselves. So why would it happen for me? We outsource all of our security to other people's opinions and judgments and even our own judgment because we deny our truth. We deny our secret desires. And I swear a small part of us, which is really the bigger part of us, it dies every time we say no to that voice. That inspired feeling to pick up the instrument or make that video because no, that's not safe. We need a real job that makes us feel safe, they say, or they think. Because I don't see anything safe about wasting my time, a non renewable resource, sacrificing my mental health, which will eventually just cost me the money I made, and then eventually my physical health too. I don't see anything safe about risking my creativity, my joy, and my passion so that, finally I can be 65, 70 years old and enjoy my life then? No. You don't need a job. You need you. Every dollar you've ever made comes from you. I need you to listen to your heart and do the thing you've always said you'd do if you had more money, more time, more followers. We need you to do it now. That desire in your heart is because it's meant to be lived through you. Otherwise, why would it be there? And have you ever considered why you want to do something that I have no interest in at all? Or why you want to do something, right? Like, why do you have those interests and why do I have these interests? And it's because all of us have a purpose. Your purpose doesn't have to be big either. You don't have to be a Tony Robbins to have purpose. You have purpose because you were born. And there are other humans here who heal when you live authentically. Maybe it's just by watching you live authentically, but you are impacting by just being here. And yet you still think you are nothing. And it's the greatest lie you ever told yourself. But some years ago, you began to build evidence for it. And so now you're 20 something, 30 something, 40 something, maybe 50 something. And you really think, yeah, I could never do that. I'm not capable of that. That'll never happen for someone like me. And the reason why that hurts so badly is because it's not true. Your soul, the inner being within you is like, that couldn't be further from the truth. And that's the pain that you feel. And so we feel the pain and the weight of our inauthentic life, the life we chose out of illusory safety. And so then what do? We suppress. We suppress with alcohol, drugs, food, and work too. Our society makes it really easy to suppress these things. Most of these suppressions are pretty normal at this point. Society is gravely sick when people think you're weird for not drinking, not doing drugs, not eating shit, and working less hours and doing meaningful work. They think you're crazy. And so to stop any of these addictions, these suppressions, we'd have to get to the root and treat the source, not the symptoms. What are we really suppressing? Our true self. The version of us who would do all the things you said you'd wanted to do if you weren't so fucking scared. And here's the thing, guys. If you're on earth, you're already all in. You're already in the game. And at some point, it will be over. You are going to die at some point within this physical plane of existence. That's not even morbid. It's just a fact. It's the one certainty we get in this lifetime that it comes to an end. So why not go all in on your dream? Because if you were sleeping right now, you would do the craziest thing you could think of because you knew you were going to wake up and it's not going to matter. And that's life. You're trying to stay safe when safety is an illusion. You can't run away from death, no matter what job you get. And so a lot of people on earth know how to make a living. They don't know how to make a life. Now, I'm not telling you how to quit your job or unless that feels aligned, but what are you going to do about your life? Not your living, your life. And you might be thinking, well, living my life doesn't pay the bills. Wrong. That is so wrong. Distracting yourself between the time you get home from work and the time you go back again is not living life. That's twiddling your thumbs. Living your truest, best life looks like honoring your unique passions and gifts, making yourself feel whole, and then feeling so full that you can't help but want to share it with others. And then if you're really aligned, you're doing it for you and not for anyone else. You're doing it for 8-year-old you and 80-year-old you. Then your life might actually support your living. Because when we bring joy, creativity, or value to others through being our authentic selves and create financial wealth, yeah, but it came from inner wealth, wealth of love, wealth of joy, and wealth of spirit. So many people have money, but they're so poor because all they have is money. And I think that's the worst failure, or at least the one that feels the worst, right? Having everything, but having nothing inside. And so by having this realization, I was able to turn my life into a masterpiece because I am all in on the life I want because I'm not getting out of here alive. And neither are you. And so, what is it that you want to do with your one wild and precious life? I need you to live like you have a sand clock running out because you do. And if you're listening to this, it's because your dreams are meant to be lived and they're not meant to go to the grave with you. And so, that was a lot. Wow. We have a lot of processing to do after that because I really put me and you on blast. But I hope this resonated. And I hope that you live a life that, or rather, I hope that you're courageous to live a life that you want to live because you get to be happy. You deserve to be happy. And having the courage to believe in and act in the pursuit of your wildest dreams over your biggest fears is really the greatest adventure you will ever go on. I want you to not know what's next because great. From that place, so many incredible things can unfold. Stop trying to create the past over and over and predict your future. Let something completely and utterly wild and just unimaginable happen for you. And that can only happen when we let go of all of these ideas of who we need to be, what we need to do in order to feel safe. Anything that feels safe is known. We know what it looks like already. We know what it feels like already. And our dream life it's not going to look like that. It's not going to feel like that. It's going to really put us on the edge of our seat and keep us on our toes. And it's going to be surprise after surprise. And you just get to be open and awesomely willing to experience all of it. But not if you're constantly trying to live a life that caters to your fear. Your fear will say, don't do that. You don't know what's going to happen. Good. I don't want you to know what's going to happen. I don't want to know what's going to happen. I lament when I have finished an amazing movie and I can't watch it for the first time again. I'm like, damn it. I can't not know what happens at minute 45. I know what happens. And so many of you are living your life like that. You're trying to determine the ending, and it doesn't make for a very interesting movie. We love a plot twist, right? And so let this moment be the moment that the plot thickens, that you go for something that you never possibly thought imaginable, fathomable. It's so wild and out there, but who cares if it doesn't happen? If it doesn't happen, you can go back to your safe life. It's totally fine. It'll still be there. But what could you experience if you opened yourself up? You have no idea. You have no idea all of the infinite possibilities that are waiting for you. That's the crazy thing. You've imagined like 2 possibilities and they're like both bad, right? Imagine, oh my goodness, just imagine what you could experience if you just stopped trying to feel safe, you know? What if you found safety actually in the pursuit of your dreams? What if it was less safe actually to stay in your job because then you would actually be sacrificing this life that you never get to live? It's not a dress rehearsal, right? I have to remind myself of that almost every day. It's not a dress rehearsal. This is it. This is the literal final performance. I'm here. I'm on stage. It's happening right now. And if you believe in karma and, life after death, maybe there's a do-over. I don't know. But that's the thing. We don't know. Why are we living like we know there's a do-over? There might not be. This might be it. And so what are you going to do about it? How are you going to live so courageously and authentically that when you get to the end of your life, you literally don't have a regret? It breaks my heart, reading and listening to the people who are on their deathbed telling people what their life regrets were. And, they're all the same. They all say, I really wish I really regret the things I didn't do, not the things that I did. I wish I had been braver. I wish I told more people I love them. I wish I had done that thing that I was always scared to do. If I knew I was going to die, I would have just done it. And here's the thing. We all know it, but we ignore it. I don't know why we do this. We just ignore it. Until hopefully one day you're listening to a podcast in your car because it became too painful to ignore. And so you started looking into law of attraction and manifestation and you fell upon consciousness and spirituality, and now you're listening to this podcast and you're like, holy shit, I'm all in already. This is my one wild and precious life. And so this is not the type of message I normally share, but it just felt so important. It was a message I needed, and I hope it really resonated with you. So let me know. Let me know. Follow me on the Spiralinghigher podcast on Instagram, on the Instagram profile. I said that wrong. Yeah, at Spiralinghigher. Follow me there and let me know like what you're going to do with your one wild, exquisite, just adventure of a life. What are we going to do with it? What are we going to create? What are we going to experience? I don't want you to have the same decade again. It might feel safe, but would also feel incredibly boring and anticlimactic. And, what stories are you going to tell your grandchildren if you don't do anything, if you don't take any risks? And here's the thing, not taking a risk is taking a risk too. Because what you're risking is this incredible life that you would get to live if you would just let yourself feel fear and do it anyways. There's so many things that I felt fear about to get me to this point, to get me to recording this podcast. And I was like, who is going to listen to that? They're going to think I'm stupid and they're going to think of this. And you know what? I just let that fear be there. And I was like, you know what? Maybe. But what would be worse is just not going after it. That'd be so much worse. Because when I move in the pursuit of my dreams and I follow my heart, then I actually open myself up to a life that I can't even imagine. It is literally beyond my wildest dreams. And I want that for you. And so let this sit, let this marinate. And I hope you enjoyed this little solo pod. It was a short and sweet one. But let me know. Let me know what you're going to do with your one wild and precious life, because it is the only one you've got. Love you so much. And here's to spiraling higher.
Thank you so much for listening to this honest conversation. We hope it brought you peace, clarity, and a little bit further along your spiritual journey. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to us if you left us a 5-star rating and review so we can bring you more conscious conversations, spiritual topics, and guests. Here's to spiraling higher.